Hello there, I am the British Master and I will tell you today how to draw something really cool. Now first thing you need to do is you need to draw a line, and then you need to do a second line like this, and then another line like that, and then another like that, one 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 like that, and voila! You've drawn a cube. Now, what do I need a cube for, you may ask? Well, if you, by perhaps just shorten that cube a little, like this, and so, and so, and so. Now, it's not a cube, it's more of a prism. So, imagine that this prism is your thoracic cave. So, let me just fix the angle of this. Alright, so let's see, the prism, you're seeing it from below. Why, you may ask, is because our body is shaped like this. You see, our hips are pointing in an opposite side from our chest, while our chest is pointing upward, our hip bones are pointing downward, and that's why the uniform, the column does this shape. Like here's the neck, here's your back if you're obviously hunched over like me, and here is the rest of the thing. And here's your butt. That's a butt. Here's a boob. That's a boob. And here's an arm. That's an arm. But that's not how we're going to draw down that like that. We're actually going to do this and do that. And why do we do this is because it's actually easier for you to comprehend something if you divide it in quarters. And for example, let's see. Let's draw a circle. Let's draw a circle here. There you go. Now let's divide it in four. You say, why do I do that? Just oh, I see. You're gonna make me draw the eyes up here and the nose here and the mouth here. No, you're not going to do that. Why? Because this is not a head. This is a circle. A head is like this. You see, you're gonna use the circle as the brain, the brain storage part, the cranium, and then you're gonna cut it like so. And then what you're gonna do is, before touching the bottom of the circle, you're gonna draw this thing that is going to be the bottom of the nose, and then you're gonna extend your jaw like this. And now you got a fairly regular head shape. Then you're gonna draw a neck. It depends on what kind of neck you want to draw. I usually just draw that. The neck, you draw the neck like this, and then you draw two triangles like that to simulate the shoulders. Then when we're going to put the eyes, you're going to put it under there, on this square. And this you're going to use for hair. This upper part you're going to use for the hair. Now let's say you want some Wolverine style hair. Well, here you go. You can use it to do this, and now you have a Wolverine style head, or which kind of hair, I don't know. And then you're gonna draw the ears like this. Remember always to touch the bottom of the ears with the bottom of the nose. That is how they align in the human body. And now to draw the eyes. You see these big sockets that I drew? Well, you're gonna use like half of them, like this, because that's how big our eyes are when they're normally resting, and our pupils like this. Of course, you want to draw the realism, and now you're gonna draw them out. You can do two lines to simulate the overbite that we all have. Well, we don't all have, but it's better than just drawing a line like that, because that's like if we are sucking our lips inside. It doesn't look natural. Or you can use another thing and draw the overbite that we all have on the lip, the mid lip, like this. Well, at least that's how we do it. Anyway, so back to the body. So how do I put this head on this body? Well, you will actually incline the neck a bit, like so, and then you're going to draw a circle, and then that circle you're going to divide it in fours, and then you're going to do the exact same thing only in perspective, like this. And then here you're going to also divide in fours by drawing another circle. Then here at the bottom you're going to connect the jaw line that you draw here. You're going to draw the eyes here and the eyes here, and that seems awfully complicated, doesn't it? But with time you learn to understand what each piece holds just by looking at it. So we're going to draw the shoulders here. You can draw them like that, and then you're going to draw the arms. Now to draw the arms, you don't just like, I know what you're going to say, that you need to do this and you need to do that and there's an arm, but no. The first thing you need to do is find the rhythm of the arm. Like this is usually an S. You can do this, or you can do this, or you can do this. It doesn't matter how you do it. And then once you do this, you're gonna find the middle point and you're gonna draw it's not the shoulder, how do you say that? The elbow. Then you're gonna draw the end line, and that's gonna be the wrist. And then in this circle, you're gonna build the muscles. Now the muscles are always simple to draw if you follow this pattern. Here you're gonna draw a flat line, and here you're gonna draw a curved line, and here you're gonna draw a flat line, and then here you're gonna draw a curved line. But in the arm you can always like draw both curved lines like this, because it really doesn't matter. And then you're gonna draw a hand, and a good tip to draw a hand is to do two circles and then one square. Then you can build the fingers like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. You can like feel it or something, I don't know. Go ham with it. Anyway, and then with the legs you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna find the rhythm. Now you do the legs separated like this, like just like the shoulders, because our hip doesn't like, it's not like toys. Like we look at toys and we see that it's like this weird triangular shape, and then the legs are almost like connecting like this, like if they were two cylinders that are rubbing against each other, and they have the things, the joints here, and it's not like that at all. That's not how it works. How it works is this: the hip is like this, and it is a triangular shape, but it's almost more like a bucket shape, because here you can see the bucket shape like that, and then it extends like this, and our legs actually curve a little on the inside, where we have our legs obviously like together. So you're gonna draw then the articulations like this far apart, because when you move the leg, the bone is actually moving kind of like this or something. So you're gonna draw the leg like this. And then you're gonna draw the feet, just as we did with the hand. Now what I like to do with the feet is I like to break it down into 3 separate pieces. So you got the ankle. Are these the ankles? No, these are the ankles. These are the ankles. These here are the ankles. I'm gonna draw it up on front view so you can understand. Now you have the ankles. The ankles are tilted like so. So here's the inward angle, and here's the outward angle, and then the inward is always going to be higher than the outward angle, and this is how you're going to guide yourself to build the the bigger finger, the bigger finger, the toe, the big toe, and then you can draw the smaller toes here, like this. It's all like if it was a some sort of how do you say like if it was like a shovel, something like that. You're gonna see what I mean when I draw it from the side view. No, so here you got the how do you call this part? I don't know. The back of your feet, and then you got the front of your feet, and it's some sort of like a robot shoe fit or robot fit, where you have this part and then this part, and then we're gonna draw this again. Oh yeah, the rhythm of the fit. So we're gonna start here at the crotch. We're gonna do the crotch like this, gentle scratch, and then we're gonna draw the thighs. Let's draw two sausages. Just two sausages. Don't draw the third one, please. This is a Christian server. Anyway, and then you're gonna draw the knees. Then you're gonna draw the big hams, the bottoms like this, and you can see the pattern that I was explaining here, like so. You know, one straight line, one curved line. Here's the knee, and then one straight line, one curved line, like this. That's basically the principle of it. It doesn't have to be that strict, but that's how I envision it most of the time. And here you draw the feet. That's how I envision it most of the time. Yeah, and the feet, you don't gotta, if you're gonna add shoes or something, you don't have to like do something so elaborated like this. You're just gonna draw a triangular shape like this, and then where the toes are. Always keep in mind that the basic shape for the toes is a bigger one and a smaller one, like regular feet are. And when when you're looking at it from upwards, you always have like this, like you see the arch. So even if all of the fingers did stay the same size, from a front view it would always look like this because of perspective. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly, but yeah. So don't look at this. Don't look at this. No. No look. Alright. So this is big toe, medium toe, slightly smaller toe, another smaller toe, and the smallest toe in town. And you're gonna draw. Yeah, yes, like this. This is a good fit. Anyway. Alright, so and then here, this if you're drawing males or no females also have this. They have this kind of like where the hip line hip bone connects is just a little bit less obvious, and then you're gonna draw the male boobs with the nipples, the nipples, like this. And there you go. Basically, you're half done, and you can like, no, I don't know, draw a tentacle here or something. Like. Okay. There you go. And laser eye. Pshew. Alright, so what else can we draw here? What else do I need to explain apart from this? Oh yeah, I'm gonna draw the side view just so you can like understand something real quick that I did here that I'm sure that you don't understand. Like when you draw from a side view, you see the cut that we did here. Well, you're gonna do the same cut, only that since you're seeing it from the other angle, it's gonna look like a circle, because that's the shape that a sphere is. If you cut a sphere, the shape that it will produce is a circle. So you're gonna cut the circle, and then you're gonna divide it in fourths. Always important to divide in fourths, because it's like dividing the bottom, the left and the right, and then the up part. It's like something basic, something that is flawless to do. If you're gonna divide something, it's not like thirds that you gotta calculate where is the center first, and then at I you gotta divide it in three, and it's not gonna look equal. Instead, just divide it in fours, half and half. There you go. It's easy. So you're gonna divide in fours, and then you're gonna draw the eye like this, foreshortened, like this, squash over, because you're seeing it from the side. So you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna draw the nose always like this. Not always like this. You can do the mouth here a little if you're like experimenting with proportions, but you always try to have the bottom of the nose, or the point of the nose, near the end of your circle, and then you're gonna draw the mouth around this area. It doesn't have to be like accurately specific. Just accurately like that. Just is a point of reference. Every guideline that you draw is a point of reference. It's not something final. It's just a point of reference. Never like think of this that, oh, I gotta draw this with a ruler and a compass, circle maker, with tools, because it's gotta be perfect. No, you just use it as a guideline. That's why they call guidelines, because they guide you. They don't let you trace over them. Anyway, so like the neck is kind of bent upward. It doesn't have to be like bent super upward because you have like a bad posture or something, because it has to be bent a little bit upward like this. So remember this box, how it's tilted? Well, it's like this. It rests like this, and your chest, it rests like this. Tilted is two rhythms tilted like this, and like this. The body has rhythm. It's not always rigid. The only time the body is rigid is when you like doing a military stance, where you gotta have like, oh, so stay like this forever. Do not move. That is when the body is rigid. Otherwise, if the body is relaxed, if the body is not stretched or tensed, it always has rhythms. It always has curves. It never has straight lines. And when you extend something, you don't like extend in a straight line. You extend it in a curved line. Like for example, I'm gonna draw an arm here, and I'm gonna use this curved line. So I'm drawing the arm, then I'm drawing the hand. It's not a perfect hand, but you get the idea. Now I'm gonna do it with a straight line. There's a curved line. Now I'm gonna do it with a straight line, and see how you like it. Now tell me, which one looks with more life? This one or this one? Probably neither, because they both suck. But this one, it has a little bit more momentum to it. It feels like someone just flipped it over like this. Instead, this one just looks like it's getting stretched over. Like there's like someone that's pulling the finger like this, and he's like, oh no, please do not take my arm, that hurts. And then this one is just throwing their arms in the air like they just don't care. Like you gotta understand the rhythm of the rhythm and the expression of the body to draw something you can just use lines, straight lines like this, because your body will not have movement of its own. It's like it's influenced by something external, and you don't, unless you want that, in a picture, it's not gonna look good. So avoid straight lines at all costs, unless you are, I don't know, drawing a box like these boxes over here that we've discussed. Avoid straight lines at all costs. And even when you are trying to draw a thorax, you don't even have to do a box. You can just do a bin. Just do a bin like this. And then you can build a body from here. Like here's the chest, here's the belly, and you can add the arms. You can even draw boobs like this. Right, so it's pretty cool how how you can like understand and analyze everything just by breaking it down into simple shapes or forms, or by breaking their expressions into simple lines. Is something that you need to analyze, to look at real life. For example, I'm gonna draw this box, and again with the boxes, I am obsessed with boxes. But this is essentially what 3D is like. You got axle X, axle Y, and axle C, and this is what represents the third dimension, the dimension that you're trying to represent in 2D on the paper. Paper is just this and this. 3 dimensions is this, and you can't represent 3 dimensions on a paper accurately. You gotta do an approximate representation, and that's the challenge of every artist every day, because you can draw this thing, but you can also draw this thing, and it's the same thing. It's just looked at from a different angle, and you can do that in 3D easily. You can use like you're in this point and you walk from this point, and oh, it's in a different angle than this point. But in 2D you gotta like draw the thing, or like take a picture or something, so it stays, so that the 3D image stays on the 2D environment. And that's what you gotta work on. You're a 2D artist trying to represent things that are in 3D, and that is the challenge that you gotta face. So for example, you gotta break all of the things in these basic shapes, so that you can understand them better and you can represent them better. Because what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna grab this cube as a guideline, this prism as a guideline, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw this and these lines like this. Of course it's kind of messy because I'm not like putting effort, I'm just like showing you. And here it is. This is a deodorant, a bar deodorant that I have, and here in my table. Let's put Abe on. I'm sure they would sue me, or well, they might. So I'm gonna put Abo. Anyway. But you see what I mean. You see, you gotta like break down everything that is in 3D into simple shapes, so you can represent them more accurately in the 3D environment that you work in the 3D environment that you're trying to. You get the idea. You get the idea. I don't even know why I'm explaining it so much, but it's just to show you that this is more complicated than it sounds. And with practice you can like do it easier, quicker, and more efficiently than when you just copy and paste something that you saw. Like for example, you just saw someone that draw this cool hand, and you always want to draw that hand in every one of your pieces, because you think, oh, this guy really understands how hands work. So I'm sure that if I draw hands like them, I surely understand how they work, but you never do because you just try to copy something that you saw one time, and you never really understand it, and you can't like draw it at will. Like you just gotta always copy that pose, that specific pose, or just gotta draw that specific angle of the hand, and uh, you never really fully exploit the potential of that. So what you gotta do is, instead of just drawing like the same eye over and over again, just gotta look at what an eye looks like in real life and tell yourself, how does this person interpret a thing that looks like this and transforms it in something like this? And you gotta see the similarities, like, oh, this the double eyelashes here, it is four eyelashes, it's like multiple eyelashes here, and he just simplifies it by doing it a little bit thicker and then adding a point in the end to represent that is composed by multiple small hairs. Like it breaks it down into a simple concept so that people can understand it better, and he has to draw less. And then, oh, here's an iris, like it has so many things but you can draw them, but like since he or she likes to draw them, he made it bigger, and that's how you get the anime eye or something. Same with Mickey Mouse, like he first had these two eyes like this and a big nose and two ears like this, and when you look at the mouse it doesn't look anything like that. His face a little more triangular, and their ears are not like that circular. They're more like triangles like this, and their eyes, they don't have big pupils like this. These are both pupils, by the way. The original Mickey Mouse had big pupils that they just like downgraded over time. The mice have like really tiny red or black eyes. Like, how did this get interpreted into this? You gotta ask yourself that. How did this artist interpret whatever, you understand? This artist draw this thinking, yeah, this looks like a mouse, this definitely looks like a mouse? Or how did this artist draw, for example, what other thing, how did an artist draw this? And thought, yeah, that's how a hedgehog looks like, with big red shoes. How did an artist like decide that this was a hedgehog, and that hedgehogs had these big pupils? How did an artist do that? How did it think that? How did an artist think that a child can be just break down into big eyes, small nose, and buck teeth? And he didn't even draw a jaw. He just draw a big cheek and a small ear, and then draw the hair like that and put it a cap, and there you go. That's a child. And you have a spoon hands. That's a child. You gotta think about that. That's the most important thing that I can tell you about how to draw, is just, or copy someone, or like getting inspired by someone. Like, you gotta analyze and think, how did this person draw this, thinking that it looked like this? How does this person look the world around them? how do this person interpret the world around them? And that's what I want you to think. And please be patient with me. My English is not very good, and I'm pretty sure that if you had a second language, this is how much you would struggle with it. Especially since your language is like I can't even move my mouth very much. I can't even move my mouth, amigo. I'm sorry, that was offensive. Anyway, that's everything I got to say for today, really. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that it was useful to you, and like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to see similar videos to this one. See ya.